All right, I'm hearing some rumors. I'm hearing some rumors about Dillian Whyte. Now, about I want to say about a week ago, thereabouts. I did a video just asking the question, where is Dillian Whyte? What's the deal with him? What's going on? Because we really don't kind of know where we stand with him. He had a fight back in March, Paddy's Day weekend. I think it was on the Sunday in Castlebar in County Mayo. Okay, well, Ireland certainly doesn't fall under the British Boxing Board of Control, so the BUI, Boxing Union of Ireland, who would have sanctioned it, they gave Dillian Whyte the okay. He fought in Castlebar, fought Christian Hammer, and that was that. But we were still kind of no sooner to kind of figure out what was happening with him in the UK because, yeah, look, Dillian Whyte fighting in Castlebar, it was nice for the people who went to it. It was in a very, very small arena, about 2,000, roughly thereabouts holds. But it was nice for them. But we were kind of no sooner to figuring out, what's the deal, because Dillian Whyte in August of last year had an adverse analytical finding a week before he was meant to fight Anthony Joshua in the O2. So that derailed that. Then we were kind of like, all right, well, what happens? Is he going to take a ban? Is he, what's going to happen? I suspected at the time, given the fact that this wasn't the first instance that Dillian Whyte had of having, issues, that they would more than likely try to book him and make an example of him. And I thought that given the fact that he wasn't, was Dillian Whyte ever, yeah, well, I wouldn't say cash cow, but he definitely was big enough to go on pay-per-view. Given the fact that he wasn't the A side anymore, certainly at this point in his career, I didn't think he'd get any favours done. Now, obviously, you fast forward to March, he was in the ring in Ireland, doesn't fall under the British Boxing Board of Control, so that's all well and good. Apparently, he's got a Texas license, all that good stuff. Yeah, we're still no sooner to figuring out what's the deal with him in the UK, which is where he really is the big name and the big draw. So we need to know, is he going to be able to fight in the UK? What's going to happen? Because the Saudi shows are under the British Boxing Board of Control. So, you can't just go and be like, well, I'll fight in Saudi. Not on the big Saudi shows anyway. So we kind of didn't know where we stood with him. But the rumour mill is that Dillian Whyte has a fight lined up. There's no opponent announced as of yet. I think Christian Hammer, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was roughly a fortnight, maybe a little bit more than a fortnight, where they announced Dillian Whyte would be fighting, and they obviously announced Christian Hammer as the opponent. Or was it later? No, I'm not 100% sure, but I know Whyte was announced a couple of weeks before that card in Castlebar, and I'm not sure when exactly Hammer was announced, but apparently he is set to return to the ring on December the 15th. Where, might you ask? Another date in Ireland? No. Gibraltar, home of his victory over Alexander Povetkin. You may remember that. That was in Gibraltar. It was, I think there was only, what was it they called it? The Show of the Rock or something like that. It was a weird one. There was only, I think, 1,000 people allowed in attendance in that show. And yeah, he rematched Povetkin. I think Campbell Hatton made his debut on that show. I was on BoxRec just to see, because I was hearing rumours, and you never know. When I heard rumours about Dillian Whyte back in March, it made sense to me, because I was thinking that, well, I was hearing rumours that he was coming back to the ring, and it made sense to me even before I heard he was potentially going to be on that show in Castlebar, because I know Thomas Carty, one of his fighters, was on it. So I was putting two and two together and saying, right, makes sense. Show in Castlebar, Paddy's Day weekend, one of his fighters is on the card. You just knew something like that was going to happen. So you didn't need to be a rocket scientist to work that out. I went on BoxRec. Do you know? Because BoxRec will tell you, up and coming shows in any respective county or country, even in the counties. It'll tell you loads about, where fights are, what's on in the future, what's been on in the past. There have been, on BoxRec, the first ever show in Gibraltar was in 1931. There was one other show in the 2000s, and then there was Dillian Whyte show. In their history, that's something else. Apparently, it's going to be in Gibraltar. Again, these are rumors, but I'm hearing these rumors, and I'm not lying. I'm thinking there's a little bit of something behind these. Listen, Dillian Whyte, if he is fighting on December the 15th, why does that date ring a bell? I'm pretty sure there's a fight card on that night. I could be wrong, but I'm sure, maybe there isn't. Oh yeah, I think it's the Matchroom show not on that day. The one in Monaco. I think that's on that day. But look, if Dillian Whyte is fighting in Gibraltar, it sounds weird, Gibraltar, but apparently, then I can't imagine with, a month to go, it's going to be anybody decent. we're still no sooner to figuring out what the deal is with him and, you know, fighting in the UK, which is where his bread and butter is. And it's been nearly well, it's basically been 2 years. I think it was the end of November when he fought Jermaine Franklin. So, like, 2 years and literally, you know, a washed to bits Christian Hammer who quit after 3 rounds for no reason other than, you know, I came, I saw, I want my money. Simple as. That's literally what Christian Hammer did. So I can't envision it's going to be anybody good. But at least this way it's going to tell us a bit something about Dillian Whyte, because I'd imagine he's not coming into this fight on as short a notice. I would imagine if it's a low-hanging fruit, so to speak, he should dispatch of him. It will tell us a little bit more about it. Maybe we'll have a chance to actually be able to watch this fight, because they never streamed the fight he had with Hammer. You only see a few little highlights, and it didn't look good in the highlights we've seen. So that's the rumour mill. I think it has some validity to it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll leave it there, people. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you could, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Peace.